production management, because these two words are used together, production and operation management, which is also known as POM. So anything you are doing, you are either doing some service or you are producing some good. So anything you are doing, some operation is required. Actually, previously we used the word production because it was mainly for manufacturing units which were producing some goods. But now we see the same functions are required even if you are producing some service. There is a difference between service and good. But the thing, how it will reach the audience or the consumer which requires them, that is the same. It is a conversion process. Like for example, if it is a you're manufacturing some good, it might be dress material. So it will be first what your conversion is will be from cotton wool to thread, from thread to cloth, from cloth to cutting, then whatever thing you want, whether you want a dress or you want a shirt or it will be cut accordingly and then stitched and then it delivered. It will be delivered to the consumer according to his or her requirement. That is the main thing. It should be outward looking. The consumer should be the focus. What they require, when they require, at what price they require, all these things should be taken in. So this is basically a conversion process. Suppose if you are giving some service, like for example, healthcare service, or for example, education, what legal service. So whatever they require, somebody like for example, you want to know about operations management, you want to do MBA. So you have enrolled in your somewhere where this particular service will be given to you. And our duty is to provide that to you. We'll have to see when we are operating this whole thing, we have to see what is the requirement, what you want, and whether how beneficial it will be to you. So all these things. So conversion from one raw material and the process value is being added to you. Like before doing this course, you did not have idea about how things work in a operation management environment. But once you have finished the course, you'll have a very good idea. So you can further utilize it and further grow in your career. So it is very crucial to understand what are the raw materials, what operations are required to convert the raw material into the desired finished good, who requires that service or who requires that uh, good, how, at what time, at what price, and with utmost efficiency and effectiveness. Efficiency means you are using the raw material, whatever it is, optimally, not wasting anything. For example, you must have seen how things are stitched. Like some people might take a cloth and then they'll cut the pattern and there will be a lot of cloth will be go waste. But some other person might cut the cloth in such a way that whatever portion is left that can be utilized for something else. So naturally, all these things will be affecting the price and the quality. So because what is there today, it is a competitive environment. Everybody wants the best quality in the least price, and for that you have to keep your system very efficient. System means what? You have different components working towards a same objective. It is not that only one part is working. The whole, like for example, in management also we have four functional areas. There's marketing, there's HR, there's finance, there's the operations. These are the basic four areas, and they work together for whatever they are producing, whether they are giving services or they are giving some goods, or they are maybe might be giving both. There are organizations may give both goods and services. So it is their duty to see what is required, how it is required, at what price it will be, because it will depend upon the buying pattern of the consumers. Like everybody, okay, BMW is a very good car, but everyone cannot afford it. So it will depends upon what is your market, where you are supplying it, how much, what should be the price, so that whatever you're producing is being sold. Because this is a cyclic process. If you are not able to sell what you are producing, what will happen? You won't make profit, and the further generation will be affected, because it has to be ongoing. Otherwise, there's no point of running the business. See, here it says production and operations management plays a vital role in ensuring that the goods and services we use daily are produced effectively, right way, and in the right direction. If you are doing the in the right way, but you are not do the right thing, then also it is meaningless. And if you are not you're producing it in the wrong way also, that is because there will be lot of wastages, which will, what will happen, the price of the product will go up, and maybe the people will not be able to, because there's a lot of competition. Somebody might be producing it at lower price at the same quality, so naturally you'll be losing your market. Once you will start losing your market, will happen, your profit ratio range will be affected, and your further growth of your business will be affected. Just see if I'm doing slideshow with you. Can you see it?
Yes, ma'am. It's the first slide.
Production and operations management involves managing an organization production system. Here are the key points. First is your conversion, because every in production management means, production or operations management means you are converting the raw material into finished good.
Yes, ma'am.
You just read it for me.
Okay. Production and operation management. Production and operation management involves managing and organizing production system. Here are the keys point. Conversion process. POM focus on the activities that transform inputs such as raw materials, labor, and capital into valuable output, product, or services. The conversion process is the heart of POM.
Mm.
Kindly concern for operation managers, understanding and optimizing the conversions process is crucial. They strive to enhance uh,
Efficiency.
efficiency, quality, and overall performance.
Mm.
POM plays a vital role in ensuring that the goods and services we use daily are produced effectively.
Next one. Can you see it? The goal of customer satisfaction.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh,
Ma'am, it's the only first slide I can see.
Second, you are not able to see.
No, ma'am, I'm not able to see.
Okay. There's some problem. I just one
Now,
second. Now it is visible.
yes, ma'am. The
Okay, read
goal,
it.
yes, ma'am. The goal of customer satisfaction is an important part of effective production and operation. In the past, the manufacturing functions in most companies was inwardly focused. Manufacturing had little contact with customer and did not always understand their needs and desire. In the 1980s, many USA industries such as automotive, steels, and electronic lost customer to foreign competitors because their production system could not provide the quality customer demanded. As a result, today most companies, both large and small, consider a focus on quality to be central component of effective operation management.
So here, see, in 19 until 1990, there was not much competition. Especially, there's one book called "The Giant Was Made to Dance." When Americans, they thought they were the best car manufacturer, and nobody could compete with them. But then the Japanese, started producing better cars at a lower price, and there were so many the buyers had shifted from buying American cars to Japanese cars. That was when this book was written. The giant was made to dance. So then they realized how important it is to understand what the consumer wants and what he or she can afford. That is also very important. So especially these hunchback cars, they initially Americans were producing huge cars, but they were no hunchback. But suppose you are going for a short distance, you don't need some place to take your luggage and all. Maybe a one or two small packets or bags would be enough. But there was no, and naturally that those cars were up expensive than the hunchback. So the Japanese were the ones who started this concept. Now it is being followed all over India, I mean, world. So you see how it is important to see what actually the customer wants. So we should keep the customer at the center, and our every strategy should be focused on that. It should be customer centric, because why things are being produced, because somebody needs it, somebody desires it, what car colors they desire, what design they desire. Initially Fiat was only producing black cars, because at that time it was a seller market. It was for the first time that they had started this venture, so they did not have much competition. But when competition came, they had to change their strategies. They also started manufacturing cars in many shades and colors. Today, anyway, in India, Ford, com- Ford's cars are not available. But initially, it was generally black. But now you have in every hue and color. So you can see it. You can see other manufacturers also. They are also producing cars in different sizes, different colors, different basic. There are so many base models, then some advanced features. Whatever a person can afford and willing to pay, they will go accordingly. So they are now keeping their focus on the customer and the requirements and the desire of the customer. So now, even if it is a small or a large company, for example, even a thela wala, whatever he or is selling should be according to the customer to whom they are selling this produce. जैसे मान लो कोई पानी पूरी भी है, तो पानी पूरी भी तो वैसे जैसे तुम्हारे कस्टमर है, मे बी इन योर लोकेलिटी पीपल वांट इट वेरी chilly, so they'll mix more chilies in their water. If they don't want that, they want some other flavor in the, then they'll add that flavor in the water, so that the customer is satisfied. Because if the customer is not satisfied, naturally his whatever he or she is selling will not be sold. And if it is not sold, then naturally no profit will. And today competition is increasing day by day. So we have to consider this very, very seriously.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Read this.
Yes, ma'am. Stronger links between marketing and manufacturing into encourage production managers to be more outwardly focused and to consider decision in light of their effects on customer satisfaction. Services companies find that making operating decision with customer satisfaction in mind can be competitive advantage. Production and operation management involves three main types of decision typically made of the at three different stages. Production planning, the first decision facing operation manager come at the planning stage. At this, manager decide where, when, and how production will occur. They determine site location and obtain the necessary resources. Second is production control. At this stage, the decision making process focuses on controlling quality and cost, scheduling, and actual day to day operation of running a factory or services facilities. Third is improving production and operation. The final stage of operation management focuses on developing more efficient method of producing the films, goods or services.
So here like there has to be very strong link between marketing and manufacturing, because after all you will be manufacturing only those things which will be marketed later on. If you are not able to market it, then what is the point of running that business? So, and for that you have to do these three basic things. First of all, how will you produce it? Where, what will be your plant look? That will be doing in detail later on. Plant location. See, things don't remain static. For example, when Tata's, the Telco as well as Tata Motors, which was known as Tisco, Tisco and Telco. Telco was Tata Motors and Tisco is still there. So they started this venture. They came all the way from Bombay to Jamshedpur, which is in Jharkhand today. Why? Because all the raw material were available over there. Even today, the raw materials are available there only. But the transportation facilities have improved a lot. And the other things like the maybe some tax to encourage manufacturing unit, some tax subsidies are given. Then the infrastructures like light and other things, resources like water will be easily available to you. So that is why now you find manufacturing unit all over India. There are manufacturing units in South Tamil Nadu. Then there are political reasons also. There are manufacturing units in Gujarat, Haryana. So they have over the year, but initially when it started, because the Tatas were the first one to start heavy in manufacturing units. So they came all the way from Bombay to Jharkhand, Jamshedpur to start this unit. So it is where they could get the raw material, how efficiently can use. Even Britishers, when they first opened their manufacturing unit for making rail coaches or engines. It was initially a steam engine, but then they started that. They first opened a workshop at Lilwa, which is in Calcutta, it is in Calcutta, in fact. But it was a very small unit, and then they realized it was they were not getting the raw material in time, and even the workers were not up to the mark. So they shifted to in 1862, much before our independence, 1862, they shifted to a place called Jamalpur, which is in Bihar, because over there they found that they had very good carpenters and blacksmiths, and then and that was their, at that time it was equivalent to NDA of today, because they not only had the manufacturing unit but all the training. There were different types of apprentice, special grade apprentice, first grade apprentice, other type of apprentice. All the training units and everything was there. So because they found they had very good working, because without personal involvement, without the personal skill, you cannot do anything, because the human resource is the main resource which makes the other resources work efficiently and effectively. So they started that. Later on, what happened, other units, they started supplying other facilities at a cheaper rate and give. And even today you'll find the same workers from Bihar going to all these places, whether it is Haryana, whether it is Gujarat, whether it is Tamil Nadu, because even today the best people doing carpentry and blacksmiths are from that region. So both the raw material which was required to start these units plus the human resource, skill of human resource, were also available. But now traveling is not a problem, finding a good place at other places is not a problem, moving heavy raw material also from one place to other is not a problem. So things, the whole scenario has changed. and apart from the political reasons also there. So first of all, you have to plan how the production will be done, where, how much, for whom, all these things are very necessary. Then once the production starts, you have to control that production and see it is done in the right way and you are getting the right material at the dimension of the product, the quality of the raw material. All these things have to take a day-to-day operation. That is why it is said that there are basically three types of decision making. One is your strategic decision making, which they make for long term. Long term means, for example, if you take Indica, Tata Motors, they were only producing commercial vehicles as well as SUV. They were not producing passenger cars. But then they realized that there is a very good market. In when they started in early 90s, they saw that there is a very good market for supplying good passengers cars which had all the features, and the price was also not very high. And because when you are doing strategic planning, you have to map what the environment is giving to you, what the environment is asking from you, and your own capability. You have to match these two together, and that is why we use SWOT analysis. SWOT means you have to see what are your capabilities and what are your opportunities, what are the threats in the again, what are your who are your competitors. All these things you have to match and decide at a future point, what are you going to make. As I told you about Tata Motors, they in the early 90s they started this venture of supplying, because they had the know-how of producing commercial vehicle. So they had this know-how, they had all the facilities, they got very good designers from Italy also, and then they produced. And whatever the first go, it might not be the best, but then you have to see. That is why control is very necessary. At every point, you have to see what is, whether it is going in the right direction is, and whether it is not going in the right direction. If it is not going in the right direction, how can you take corrective measures and bring it to the desired level? If you suppose you leave it, what will happen? By at the end, if you realize that product is not up to the mark, then it is too late. So constant monitoring and monitoring, you have to do constant monitoring, and then only you can do a control at the right time. So you, for improving this production and operation, you have to keep on monitoring and taking measures. Things have also changed technologically. Also, we have become very advanced. So we have to take all these measures. Whatever is in the environment, what new research has brought in, whether you can employ this, how it will benefit your organization. So it is a very dynamic field which requires the up-to-date knowledge about the technology, about the government policies, about the external market, all these things, and then only you can be a very successful operations manager. And here we talk about systems approach. Read this.
Yes, ma'am. System approaches. The system approach to management is a framework that view an organization as a complex system comprised for interconnected and interdependent parts. Here are some key features of these approaches. Interconnected subsystem. An organization reassemble a big puzzle made up of smaller pieces, subsystem that works together. These subsystems interact and depend on each other for the organization to function properly. No isolation. Understanding the subsystems require looking at how they relate to each other and the organization as a whole. It's like fitting each puzzle's pieces into the large picture. Boundary. Every organization has a boundary that set it apart from other system. This boundary defines the organization's scopes and limits, helping identify which parts are inside like employees and which are outside like customers. Changing environment. Organizations are dynamic system influenced by their environment. Factors like power cuts, strikes, or shifts in customer preference affect them. Management must stay aware of external changes and make adjustment when needed. Sensitivity of the to the environment. Organization needs to be responsive and adapt to external factors, just as we react when something unaccepted happen. Organization must adjust to maintain their operations.
So, as I told you, okay, it is a matching of the external as well as the internal. It is said as SWOT analysis: your strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. So, strength and weakness is inside you. Like, suppose if you want to do engineering, so naturally you have to be very good in mathematics. That is one of the basic require. If you want to do medicine, so naturally you have to have a very good knowledge about biology, the anatomy of a person, whether you are interested, and you have to have an interest in that. So what is, suppose you have certain weakness, suppose you are like, if you want to become a doctor, and you have to be very hardworking, and you are not that, so you have to work upon it so that you can do away with that weakness and bring that strength which that particular uh, 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 operation requires. So, and what are the opportunities available to you? How much, where you can get, like as a student, you have to see where you can get a good job. So your hard work will be get it will receive its prize, and and what are the threats? Like for example, in a if you are producing something, if who are your competitors, what they are producing, so you have to match this, you have to do a sort. And and we see like this thing, systems approach has come by looking at the nature. Any organization we take, whether it is a human being, a very complex organization with a number of parts, a very simple organization like amoeba, which is a one cellular animal, or a multicellular animal. Everything are working in an interconnected way. Our whole body has so many organization organs, but they are working together so that they keep our body healthy and fine. And you have to, so the same thing is there in any organization also. There are so many parts of working to, like for example, we have said that there are 4 functional areas in any organization: finance, marketing, HR, operations. If operation has to, operation is the basic, the heart of any system, because that is the thing which sees whatever is being produced. So for that you need money. How, from where the money will come, how to utilize it most judiciously, so that nothing is wasted, as minimum as possible should be wasted. That is why we place so much focus of inventory, that money is not locked up unnecessarily. We should buy so many, should not buy more than what we can sell, or not buy less, that there will be opportunity loss. All these things, the money is there, from where to get the money, from how to utilize this. Then human power, human resource, because they are the one who will be actually using these things. Operation be, no matter how many machines you have, but final control is within the human being. And for working on that machine, to know that technology also, they should have that particular training and the knowledge to work on it. ऐसा नहीं है कि किसी को बिठा देंगे, हम किसी को बिठा देंगे लैपटॉप पर तो थोड़ी कर लेगा काम. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी हैव टू ट्रेन दैट पर्सन. तो उनके क्या ट्रेनिंग होनी चाहिए, वो कैसे यूटिलाइज करेंगे, ऑल दिस थिंग्स, द ह्यूमन रिसोर्स. And there's nothing is isolation. People, machine, there has to be functional relationship between all these subsystems, so that the the goal should be the same. Goal should be same for all the units. कि आपको क्या करना है? Suppose you are producing a car, so how efficient it is, how beautiful it is. It is not only the, जैसे for example you take, जैसे पहले होता था वो ambassador car, ऐसे तो it was very good, very comfortable car. पर देखने में लोग were not satisfied. And now you must have seen they have changed the look of the car. That is also looking at the other like other cars. So it is everything you have to see. It is not only the comfort, but also the whole view of the particular product which you are producing. If you are giving some service, like for example in a hospital, if you are giving, so you have to see what all how everybody. ऐसा नहीं है कि केवल डॉक्टर्स ही अच्छे होंगे तो पेशेंट, डॉक्टर्स के साथ पैरामेडिकल भी है, अदर फैसिलिटीज हैं. आजकल तो इतनी टेक्नोलॉजी डेवलप कर गई है कि दोस टेक्नोलॉजीज आर आल्सो नीडेड टू क्योर द पर्सन, द मेडिसिन्स, द प्रॉपर वे ऑफ टेकिंग द मेडिसिन्स. तो एवरीथिंग इज वर्किंग, हैज टू वर्क इन अ फंक्शनल वे. कि ये नहीं है कि डाई फंक्शनल हो कि हम काम तो कर रहे हैं पर एक दूसरा का काट रहे हैं. उससे क्या होगा? द अल्टीमेट रिजल्ट विल बी अफेक्टेड. एंड ऑलवेज कीपिंग ट्यून विद द एनवायरमेंट. क्या एनवायरमेंट का रिक्वायरमेंट है? फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू टेक फैशन इंडस्ट्री, इतना ज्यादा चेंजेस हो जाते हैं. अभी जो फैशन इस फॉल में चला, नेक्स्ट फॉल में नहीं चलेगा. तो द फैशन इंडस्ट्री हैज टू कीप इटसेल्फ ट्यून कि व्हाट आर द रिक्वायरमेंट एंड द चॉइस ऑफ द कंज्यूमर. तो यू हैव टू बी वेरी सेंसिटिव. गवर्नमेंट का कोई रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन चेंज हुआ तो हाउ टू डील विथ इट, हाउ टू compromise with it, how to work in that particular environment. So all these things, it is a systems approach. You have to take the whole system as a whole. अलग से कुछ नहीं है. Everyone is a part of a bigger system. उसके सब systems हो सकते हैं, but they are part of the bigger system, and they are the total final output, the final goal. Everybody should be geared to it. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now we'll see what are the differentiation between goods and services.
Goods and services. What are Yes, ma'am. What are goods? Goods are tangible items that satisfy human needs. In other words, they are product, item, or commodities companies sell and consumer purchase to fulfill their wants or needs. When a customer purchase goods by paying their price, they have ownership of that goods. Hence, then positions of that particular goods goes from the seller to the buyer. Clothing, electronics, automobiles, food good goes from the seller to buyer. Okay, sorry, Kam. Stationery and furniture are some examples of goods. The main features that differentiate goods from services is that tangibility. Goods are tangible as you can touch and feel them. They also have physical attributes like size, weight, shape, and color. Furthermore, goods are manufactured, stored, sold, used, evaluated, and transferred. They can be used for one time, used repeatedly, or even shared with others. Goods can also transferred to others, for example, as a gift, sale, or inheritance. We can categorize good according to different criteria. Consumers good and durable goods are two such categories. Consumer goods are final products ready for sale bought by consumer. For example, a loafer of bread, a dress, a microwave oven, etc. Durable goods, on the other hand, are goods that last for a long time. They do not get depleted with us. Machinery and tools are a good example of durable goods.
So it's quite clear to what are goods which are tangible, which we buy, we can use it ourselves, we can gift it to others, and it has got definite color, size, and many other physical attributes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what are services? Read it.
What are services? Services are activity or benefit one party offer to another. It is basically some work that person to person do for other person. These are activities other people, companies and the government do for you. We can also describe services as transactions that do not involve the transfer of physical or tangible from seller to consumer. Some example of services include healthcare, legal counseling, landscaping, insurance, banking, and transportation. Unlike goods, services are non-tangible as they do not have a physical presence. For instance, when you book a holiday, a travel agent provide you with a service. The booking itself is abstract. You cannot touch it, store it, or transport it. Sometimes the consumer might have to purchase an item to access the services. In the above example, you might need an air ticket to travel, but this air ticket is just the mean by which you can access the service travel. Public services are services the government of a country provide for its citizen. Ensure citizen security via security services, army, police, uh, medics,
Paramedics. Hmm.
fire brigade, etc. Healthcare, urban planning, waste management, and public broadcasting are some common public services.
So here we know see, services are something, some transaction is going on. Like if you are taking education, you cannot touch education. It is not tangible. It is one service which is you are taking from a service provider. Or for example, if I'm using internet, I'm taking the help of the service provider. They are providing me the service of connecting with the internet. So this is something intangible and it cannot be transferred in the way goods are transferred. Okay, here are just a summary of it. Just read it.
Yes, ma'am. Goods and services. Goods are tangible items or commodities that satisfy human needs. Clothing, foods, electronics, and furniture are some examples. Tangible ownership is transferred to the buyer, can be
Mm,
returned to the seller, can
mm,
be manufactured and stored and transported. There is a gap between the production and consumption of goods. Good manufactured can be identical. In services, service are activities or benefit one party offer to another. Healthcare, legal counsel, education, and transportation are some example. It's intangible. Ownership cannot be transferred, cannot be returned to the seller, cannot be manufactured, stored, or
mm,
transported. And
mm,
consumption of services occur simultaneously.
mm,
Delivery of a particular service is never exactly the same as the previous services or future services.
mm. So here थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस हो ही जाता मान लो कि the same teacher, maybe he or she has taught a lesson to one class, and next year maybe there's some maybe slightly better or slightly worse. ऐसा नहीं होता कि it is exactly the same way, because service is more related to the human being, and there will be much more variability in that. It is in the machine. Like for example, if you are manufacturing something by hand, then naturally next time it will be exactly same dimension. It is hard to say, but it is mass production का क्यों हो गया? क्योंकि we have been started using machines. तो यहाँ exactly same. Like for example, if you buy a pen drive from any company and you can use it in on any laptop because it is so precise, बट जहां ह्यूमन नेचर का है तो थोड़ा वेरिएबिलिटी हो जाता है, इसीलिए सर्विसेज में थोड़ी वेरिएबिलिटी ज्यादा होती है. इज इट
Yes,
क्लियर?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
यस.
Production management versus operations model. The difference between production management and operation management. Production management definition. Production management involves planning, organizing, and delegating
Delegating.
tasks for efficient and effective production of goods and services.
Hmm.
Focus primarily deal with physical creation of products. Key aspects quality control, manufacturing processes, and cost management. Objective to produce the right quality good in the right quality at the
Hmm.
right time at least cost.
Hmm.
Scope typically found in enterprises where production is a core activity.
Hmm. So I've seen production management. What is the definition? Yeah, it first you plan how to do it, then you organize it, delegate who has to, what job has to be done on the particular machine or by particular person, and so that whatever you're producing is of the right quality and at the right price.
So,
All the focus, you're creating something new.
yes.
Then operations management.
Operation management oversee day-to-day business activity, including both production and service delivery.
Hmm.
Focus extends beyond production management to include services and supply chain management. Key aspects designing, implementing, and controlling the production process. Objective to utilize resources effectively, satisfying customer wants. Scope found in various sectors, including banks, hospital, and companies, both production and non-production. In summary, while production management focus on creating goods, operation management takes a broad view, encompassing supply chain management.
So right from where you get the raw material to the final delivery to the consumer, the whole thing is taken in operations management. Production management generally focuses more on producing something.
Basic.
And they actually there's some comparison chart. It is MP not. Just 1 second. Hmm.
Yes. Comparison chart, basic comparison, production management and operation management.
Hmm.
Meaning production management connotes
Connotes.
connotes the administration of the range of activities belong to the creation of production. Decision making related to the aspects of production found in enterprises where production is undertaken. Objective is to produce right quality good in
Just 1 second.
right
Object.
quantity at right time at least for
Hmm.
operation operation management refers to the part of management concerned with the production and deliver of goods and services related to the regular business of activity found in bank, hospital companies, including production company agencies, etc. Objective to utilize resources to extent possible as so to satisfy customer needs.
So these are the basic difference and how production. So initially we were talking more on production management, how to produce things. But then we saw it is this, it is, if you make it wider, it also involves, even if you are taking services into consideration. So now we use the word operations management. This is a chart which shows you the areas related to production management. You have technology forecasting, what all technology will be needed, what research and development has been done, then what will be your marketing strategy, what technology you'll be needing, assessment, what production planning and design, pre-production arrangements, production, and finally marketing it.
Yes.
Then we see that this whole process is an input output.
Profit.
and then this input on output profit. This business is that is operations management. Some input is done, some input is taken, some processing is done, and then the output is there. Suppose if you are, even if you are writing a letter, first of all, what will be your input? Alphabets, the words, how you will form the sentence, then processing will be done with the alphabets. You won't send alphabets to someone. Whatever words you require will be put, and then that, so the final result will be the letter, the desired letter. So anything, and in that you add value. इनपुट से जो आउटपुट का वैल्यू ज्यादा होना चाहिए, नहीं तो कोई फायदा नहीं है प्रोसेस करने का. Just read it.
Input process output model. The input process output IPO model is a framework used in operation management. It helps us understand how resources are transformed into product or services. Here's how it's work. Input resources. Operation manager ensure that the right resource such as people, equipment and material are available in the right quantity at the right time for the operation needs. Processes consists of interlinked activity or steps that consumes resources to achieve a specific goal or output. All operation managers are responsible for managing this process. Output. The operation functions aim to meet customer needs by delivering requirement product or services. The efficiency and effectiveness of the operation impact resources requirement and unit cost and profitability. In summary, the input process output model guides operation manager in optimizing resources utilization, improving processes, and delivery valuable output to customers.
So you see here the word efficiency and effectiveness. So if
Yes,
you
ma'am.
do it, the thing, the operation, so that will impact your resources. Maybe the same product you can deliver at a lesser resources. So if wastage are eliminated, then naturally the unit cost will be affected, and the profitability, accordingly, profitability will be affected. So this whole process has to be done very effectively and efficiently.
Yes, ma'am.
So these are the 4 stages. Up till now, we have say ki product operations management. We have come to the 4th stage. First is your early use of power.
Yes, ma'am.
And initially, we were doing things by our own hand. Then we started using power. Then this led to mass production. Same type of thing. Instead of making 1 or 2, there are number of same type of materials were being here. Cars are being shown, but you can have anything. Even if it's a small reel, it is mass being produced. Then came computing on automation with computer operated. Our job became easier. Things which were hazardous to the human were eliminated. These things were done by machines or computers. So things become easier. Even for example, if you take the office work with our word processing, things have become so much easier. Then data analysis. It is not that the same data analysis you are doing manually, what will happen? Even if you are analyzing only 100 data, it will require a lot of time. Feeding that data will require a lot of time. But now with computerization and automation, it has become easier. Maybe within few minutes, you can do a lot of analyzing. Then everything connected to, now you have Internet of Things. Everything is connected to everything. Like for example, as the technology grows, we might be having houses which are connected to your vehicle. While you are coming from home, you can send messages. So many things will be kept ready at home. Especially like us in India, so we have servants to do a lot of things. But abroad, that is not there. So they are doing their things themselves. So they are relying on automation more and more. Maybe their tea will be kept ready, the bath water will be at the temperature they want, and things like that. So many things. So now we are talking about Internet of Things. Everything is connected to everyone. Thing. So this is the significant development in operations management. Just read it.
Yes, ma'am. Significant events in operation management. Pre-industrial revolution, one of the first people to address the issue of operation management was the Scotch philosopher and father of modern economic Adam Smith. In 1876, Smith wrote The Wealth of Nation, in which he described the division of labor.
Mm.
According to Smith, it works divided their tasks. Then they could produce their products more efficiently than if the same number of workers each built product from start to finish. This concept would later be used by Henry Ford with the introduction of the assembly line.
Mhm. So Adam Smith was the first one. As I मान you have producing, say a simple thing like a pencil. So it first the wood has to be cut, then it has to be machined to smoothen it. Then the lid will be fitted. So instead of one man doing all the things, there will be maybe a group of men who will be just cutting the wood. Then another group will be just uh, smoothing the pencil. Then the other group. So this becomes, in this way you are doing more work. The same number of men will be required, but the output will be much more than if individually one person does from A to Z.
Yes.
And this, yes, now post-industrial revolution.
Industrial Revolution. During the Industrial Revolution, machinery allowed factories to grow in capacity and greatly increase their output. Despite this growth, there was considerable inefficiency in production. Two individuals helped to overcome this inefficiency in the early 20th century: Frederick Winslow Taylor and Ford.
Hmm.
Taylor developed a scientific approach for operation management, collecting data about production, analyzing this data, and use it to make improvement to operations.
Hmm.
Ford increased efficiency in production by introducing assembly line production and improved the supply chain through just-in-time delivery.
Hmm. In fact, Ford had bought so many mines from where the raw material came. So he would not have to rely on outside agency. So this way he improved the efficiency of producing cars. Post World War II, hello, can't you hear me?
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Oh, it's okay, okay.
I can see the screen, ma'am.
Okay. Post World War II.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Post World War II, technology development during the Second World War created new possibilities for managers looking to improve their operations. Specifically, the development of computational technology allowed for greater degree of data to be analyzed by FEM. The availability of computers have continued to increase exponentially, allowing for a high degree of data analysis and communication. Modern produce are new able to track their inventory from raw material through production and delivery.
So you see how technology has helped. Like for example, if you even order a pizza, you can see how it is being delivered. when it is cooked, when it is on the way, when it reaches you. So all these things, even in a manufacturing unit from where they get the raw material, they're using. That is what I have showed in that development, from using machines to mass producing, from using automation and computation, then finally to Internet of Things. Everything is being connected with everything else. So this is how, especially during Second World War, they developed a whole field known as operations research, when they used mathematics, statistics, economics, psychology, and so that things could be, you could minimize the cost and maximize the profit. Because see, nothing you can eliminate. For example, what is wrong in our society also, you cannot eliminate it. But our objective is to minimize it. Similarly, in the cost also you can do minimize, but you are always working under certain constraints. In that, those mathematical model or statistical models were created so that, taking the constraints into consideration, you what will be your best result. Optimal means best result. Taking all those concepts, even in our life, that is there. Whatever we are able to achieve, we have to take. Like maybe some people have financial constraints, some people have some other psychological constraint. So your final result will depend. If you change the constraint, maybe the result will change. So taking those constraints, management means the constraints will be there, but how do you utilize that under those constraints you get the best possible result? Yes, now read it modern day.
Modern day. Quality management system are popular in nowadays operation management. Quality management is a system for mapping, improving, and monitoring operation processes. A variety of quality management system are in use among top firms, the most notable system being the ISO system and Six Sigma. This system aim to increase the efficiency of business process. Although operations management has typical dealt with the manufacturing process, the growth of the service industry has created a field of services operation management.
So you have a lot of statistics is being used so that we improve the quality. That is how Japan, which was in early 50s, it was not known for its quality, but today it is known for its quality because it used those statistical tools and techniques to improve their quality.
Ma'am, it is important to learn Six Sigma in supply chain management.
Actually, our motive should be there. See, we'll come to that. What we do, we take a graph which is known as normal curve. It is a symmetric graph and it touches x-axis at minus infinity and plus infinity. So, and about 99.97% of the population lies between plus minus 3 sigma. In the middle, is the mean. Here, mean, median, mode are equal, and mean is in the middle. Plus sigma means after the mean, and minus sigma means before the mean. So about 3 sigma, so we have to bring all the whatever quality we want between these two. That is why it is known as 6 sigma, 3 plus 3. It is minus plus, but it is not actually minus plus. It is just shows the position, whether it is beyond mean or before mean. So using that 6 sigma concept, most of the world-class manufacturing units are bringing their products under this plus minus 3 sigma.
Okay.
It is clear?
Yes,
We'll
ma'am.
do it later in more detail.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. This is the last slide.
Okay, ma'am. Opportunities for operation manager. As an operation manager, one will play a crucial role in ensuring efficient and effective business process. Here are some opportunities and sectors where which can find employment. Supply chain management, managing logistics, distribution, and inventory to optimize supply chain operation.
Hmm.
Services operation management, focusing on services delivery, customer satisfaction, and process improvement.
Hmm.
Cons- Providing strategic advice to organization and operational efficiency and process optimization.
Hmm.
Company is like a complex machine with many moving parts. Operation management keeps these various parts working in unsons
Uni-
to sorry ma'am
Unison.
unisons to improve efficiency and accomplish business goals. Top operation management job include material manager, operation analyst, business operation manager, production planners, project manager, and quality control specialist. And a bachelor degree is often a minimum requirement.
So, see, that is why we focus so much on operations management, because that is the heart, that is the core area where the whatever service or product you are producing, that is the business, actual business. Others are just helping it. The finance is helping it, the HR is helping it, but the operation is the real work. What operation is to be done? Do you
Yes,
get
ma'am.
my point?
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so let's. You are the only one, so let's. Uh, that is all. This is all in your unit one. Then I'll consult with Mr. Mayank, and then either I'll be taking the unit two that is on productivity. So next Sunday. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
I hope both your colleagues are all right by that time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Good night.